Can I get a woo woo? Welcome to the Woo Woo and You podcast. I am your host, B. Marie. And if you love all things manifestation, sound healing, auras, tarot, astrology, numerology, or anything else considered woo, then you are in the right spot. So sit back, relax, and let's dive in. Hello, Woo Woo family. How are you doing? I hope April has been very good to you because April feels so much different for me personally than March did. March felt very heavy and very, I don't even know what's the word to describe it. Just, I don't know, unmotivated and low. While April, on the other hand, for me, has felt so like the beginning, right? And I think it's because technically April is the beginning of the year. It's the beginning of the new year, and with us being in the fire horse, I think I'm finally feeling the fire, so to speak. I have a mystic meetup coming up this weekend, which I'm excited about. So I'm going to be meeting some local fellow woo-woo people. And then I have 2 group sound baths already scheduled for May. And then in May, I'm also going to be at a psychic event. So I'll be doing my sound healing there as well. So all of this has just happened within the last couple of weeks. And I've also gotten new crystals. I've gotten new instruments. So I've got now a Tibetan singing bowl to add to my collection, as well as tuning forks. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I just have all of this going on. So April has really felt like it's felt like a shift. So today, kind of what I want to talk about is what is woo-woo, right? I actually got this question on as a comment, what is woo-woo? And I thought to myself, that would be a great podcast episode. Because for me, I think everybody has their own definition of woo-woo, but I want to give you my personal explanation of what I feel woo-woo is. And for me, woo-woo is basically the unseen world, right? It's mysterious, it's fun, it's the energetics, it's crystals and pendulums and all the tools that we use. For me, the woo-woo is just about being able to experience the unseen, the energetics. And I'm also a person who loves evidence or proof, because I did get another question of what is something woo-woo that I don't technically believe in or believe in yet, right? And I sat there and I thought about it and I was like, oh my gosh, everything that I consider woo-woo, I want proof for. I want the validation for. I want to experience it for myself. It's great if, psychics or mediums can do their thing and give, messages and they have their own experiences, but I want my own, right? And fun fact, I actually did experience my own experience within the last week, which was really cool. I have been trying to develop my own clair senses. So you're seeing, you're hearing, you're feeling, tasting, smelling, all of those senses I've been trying to develop for myself. And the only way that you can do that is basically just practice and not really try to control it. You're just letting yourself be open to receive whatever you're going to receive, however you're going to receive it, right? Some people, I think, me included, have their own conception of how something should come to you, whether you see it, whether you hear it. But in fact, you may get it a certain way that you didn't even expect. So for me to be able to experience what I did experience, which was a lot of feeling, I got a lot of feelings. And typically, when I physically try to tune in, a lot of the times I do see or I will hear something. But in this particular experience, first of all, I was not trying to do anything. Literally was not trying to do anything. I was out to just have a good time and just chill out and relax and, you know, have a little fun with my friend. But it ended up being an experience for me. So I got to feel basically what they were feeling, as well as receive messages. And the way that I received the messages was it basically like fumbled out of my mouth without even me thinking about it or had time to like stop my mouth from saying what I wanted to say. Like I said something and I was like, whoa, what? Where did that come from? I have no clue. This is crazy. And it happened so fast that I didn't really have time to be like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know if you were ready for that or if, you know, you wanted to hear that or anything like that. It just literally flew out of my mouth without me controlling it, basically. So for me, having that like validation of, yes, this can happen, like just gives me that proof that I like around the woo woo world, around the energetics. So for me, when I had that experience, I was just like, wow, like this is so cool. Like I love this kind of stuff. And for finally me to be able to experience that was absolutely phenomenal for me. I loved it. I just now have to kind of understand how to, I guess, tap into it when like I want to, right? Like I don't I don't think I want to just be walking around being open all the time and just feeling everybody's stuff, you know what I mean? Or receiving messages. I would love to learn how to be able to control the timing of it, right? Put up your boundaries, because I know like here on the earthly plane, we put up our boundaries for people, right? We say, no, this is not acceptable. No, I'm not doing that, right? We have our boundaries. So on the energetic level, we can also have boundaries as well. So if we're not in a place to, you know, receive things, we can say no. We can put up those boundaries. And I actually did. The feelings when I had that experience this past week, I had so much coming in that I had to be like, okay, well, thank you for this, but you've got to go, because I really, it's just too much. It's a lot of feelings. It's a bit overwhelming. I need you to stop now, please. And it finally did dissipate. It did not dissipate instantly, but it did. As soon as I started putting up those boundaries, it was calming down. And finally it dissipated and I felt a lot better. And I was like, okay, woo, thank you. And now, you know, I can sit and think about how interesting and cool this experience for me was. So the woo woo, like all the other things woo woo, right? Like manifestation, for example. I've manifested things when I literally sit here and think about things. There were things I manifested before I even knew what manifestation was. I was literally doing this as like a teenager. There were things I wanted and I would dream about them or put them on vision boards, because I was doing vision boards like in my, I guess, late teens, early 20s. And one day I would look on my vision board and be like, oh my God, I actually have that now. I don't need this on my vision board anymore. I literally have it, you know. And then there was a time when I was a teenager that I went on a cruise as a teenager for my high school graduation gift to myself, but of course I had to pay for it for myself. I went with a friend and her family, and they said, well, you have to pay your own way. I did have a job at the time, but it's like logically, if you think about it, like there was no way I could have paid for it, but somehow I paid for it. I saved up everything I made, and eventually I went on the trip. Like I manifested myself going on this trip. I did my part, right? Like I visualized it, and I was like, yes, I'm doing it. I'm gonna save everything I can save. From my little job, my little part time job, and I'm going to go on this cruise. And I went and I had a great time. A quick little break before we continue. If you want more than just the podcast, the Patreon is where we share monthly collective tarot readings, shadow work prompts, and my personal behind the scenes journey and monthly reflections. You also get access to our sound baths. We have different tiers in our Patreon. So, this is a more intimate space to actually do the work together. So, if your soul is like, yes, I want that, you're going to find the link in the show notes below. Now, let's get back to it. I also manifested like me living out of the country. I always thought to myself that I would live out of the US, but I always imagined it would probably be a Spanish speaking country, only because I was taking Spanish in high school, and I ended up taking about 6 years because I also took it in college as well. So I always thought that I would end up somewhere that spoke Spanish. But I didn't really care where I lived. I was just like, I don't want to live in the States. Like, I want to travel. I want to go somewhere else. I want to have fun. And all of my 20s, like, literally, that's all I did. I traveled. I lived in Bulgaria. I lived in the UK. And I was like through my 20s, I was constantly traveling back and forth from the US, the UK, and Bulgaria. And I don't know, my 20s was fun. So I manifested that as well. And then, like, I don't know, other things with woo woo, like crystals, right? Like, I was not always into crystals, but I would say I've been into crystals maybe about a year to 2 years, give or take. And I noticed my first time with crystals, people would say that crystals have their own vibrations, their own properties, like healing properties and whatnot. And for example, clear quartz is an amplifier, so whatever you use that for, it's going to amplify your intentions. And me being me, I'm a Taurus, so I'm a bit bullheaded. I was just like, sure, okay. So the first time I ever meditated with clear quartz, I put it on my forehead. Because, why not? Let's really see what's going to happen. I put it on my forehead, and I got the biggest freaking headache of my life. Probably, I don't even know. It probably took 5 to 10 minutes of it just sitting on my forehead. And I was like, okay, well, maybe crystals do have something with them, right? So then I got curious, and I started like holding other types of crystals. And then there was some, like, I have a piece of amethyst, which I've always been drawn to amethyst. Like, every time I go to a crystal shop or whatever, it's always amethyst that is like calling to me. And I have a pretty decent size, and it's really pretty, and it's raw. It's not tumbled, it's a raw piece. And if I put it in my hand, I can typically feel it pulsating and vibrating, and it's so cool, especially when I focus on the hand that it's in and just sit there and feel into it. It's so cool. And I've been able to do that with other crystals as well. I recently got a prophecy stone, which is an interesting crystal to say the least. I went to the store and I picked it up, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And I walked around with it in my hand. I walked around the store with it in my hand for a while. and it was vibrating the whole time. And I was like, well, you're a little pricey, but you're vibrating. I think you want to come home with me. So I ended up buying it. It's prophecy stone. It's called prophecy stone because I guess the guy who discovered it, like, he had visions when he was meditating. So that's why he named it the prophecy stone. So I was like, so it's good for dream work. This is great. So I put it by my bedside after I bought it. I put it by my bedside, and I have been having very vivid dreams, very crazy vivid dreams, and it's just like, oh wow, okay. And anytime that I do put it in my hand, I can still feel it vibrating or pulsating, or just the energy of it, and it's so neat. So if you have crystals in your home, or you go to crystal shops and you've never experienced a crystal's energy like that, I invite you to just pick up a crystal and hold it in your hand, or hold it around one of your chakras and see if you feel anything, because it's really, really neat. So, like I said, I mean, all the woo woo stuff is, for me, it's just personally, it's the unseen world. It's mysterious, it's fun, it's interesting, it's, things that are either hard to explain or just can't be explained at all. And, some of those things I can't explain, or most of those things I can't explain. My own experiences that I've had with the woo woo side of life. So for me, that's what woo woo is. And I've always been interested in things like that, right? Ever since I can remember. So I called, this company the Woo Woo in You, because I want you to feel free to, be curious and be open and to have fun with the unseen side of life. Because there is more to life than just, as I've always said, there's always more to life than just, paying your bills and dying. Like I said that in my 20s. I remember saying that to my ex mother-in-law all the time. Be like, there's more to life than just paying your bills and dying. You've got to have a little fun. You've got to be able to just live life and have fun with it, and manifest the life that you want. For me, I think that is possible, and I think anybody can do it. It's just having the belief and the faith that it is possible, because I feel like there's a lot of people that say they want XYZ, but they don't fully believe that it's possible for them. They have such a limited mindset. So, I've also been into personal growth, early on. I've always thought like self help books were, the best. So I think intertwining the self-help subconscious stuff with the woo-woo side of life is really, really powerful. And I think that's probably why I make the type of sound baths that I do, because I like to put subliminals in my sound baths. So like the recorded sound baths, right? I can't do it when I'm in person, but recorded sound baths that I make, I love to put subliminals in it, just to give you a little more transformational like experience and that little more oomph in the sound bath. Because a sound bath, can help with anything, right? Because it's sound, it's vibration, it's aligning your energetic body, back to how it's supposed to be. It's balancing out your chakras, all the things. And then when you add subliminals, that's also incorporating your subconscious mind too. So I think that's just really, really neat. So yeah, so for me, that is what the woo woo is. And those are some of my experiences with the woo woo side of life. And if you have any experiences of your own, please leave them in the comments. I love to learn and hear about how other people experience woo-woo things, right? Whether it's crystals or rituals or the spirit board or, Reiki or sounds healing, like all of the things, whatever you experience, if you've had an experience, please leave them in comments. I love reading about them. And until next month, I will talk to you later. Bye! Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you would like the links to anything that was discussed, please see the show notes. Or, of course, you can visit our website at www.thewoowoonyou.com. Or you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at thewoowoonyou for more woo.